Suddenly, they want to investigate the prisons or the correctional center. And then they want to also investigate EFCC. Who is going to do it? Is it the same honorable members who have not been able to investigate the downstream or the NNPC and all of that? Look, it is high time those we have elected should realize that Nigerians are growing wiser and we will do a lot of changes come 2027. Those who look up to you as a father in this country, that they're going through a lot, that they're suffering, that there is hunger in the land. People can't pay their medical bills. A lot of children are out of school because a lot of parents cannot pay school fees. People have no roof over their heads because they cannot pay the new hike in rents. And a lot of families don't even have light because suddenly you have created a band-aid that you are moving everybody into. For how long will Nigerians continue to suffer this? For how long will you continue to hear the pains of Nigerians? For how long will you, as Mr. President, continue telling Nigerians to endure? I hope that you are enduring as well. Finally, the House of Rep has felt it good to get involved in Bobrisky matter. I mean, what kind of honorable members do we have? Rather than talk about the ills of the society, rather than talk about the fact that people are hungry, rather than talk about that poverty is ravaging the land, rather than talk about the fact that, flood is ravaging some states and more flood is coming to some states, your honorable members who collect bogus salaries and bogus allowances are embroidered in Bobrisky matter. Suddenly, they want to investigate the prisons or the correctional center. And then they want to also investigate EFCC. Who is going to do it? Is it the same honorable members who have not been able to investigate the downstream or the NNPC and all of that? Look, it is high time those we have elected should realize that Nigerians are growing wiser and we will do a lot of changes come 2027. And while we're still talking about that, I'm happy that PIDOM has been put on bail, but 5 million naira, it means that justice in Nigeria, once you get in, be careful, because if you don't have 5 million naira, you're going to remain in prison. So if he's unable to raise 5 million naira and a surety of the same amount, with his international passport, that means he will be in prison till about November 4th or 5th. What kind of justice system is this? And then come to think about it, he's a whistleblower. And what is the whole essence of blowing a whistle? Is that thing that government is hiding that people should search for. Government has hidden a lot of information. He has brought this information to light. And the truth of it is that everything he said is true. There is nothing he said that is not true. He started from 20 billion to 90 billion, it is true. But why is it that government, in all of this, would want to punish somebody who is bringing out the truth, who is keeping Nigerians informed? In other words, what government wants is a situation where people don't even talk. People can't talk anymore. People should just keep mute. Whatever people in government do, we should all welcome it and accept it. For me, this is not acceptable. For me, this is not the kind of democracy Mr. President himself talked about a few years back. It looks as if age has taken the toll of Mr. President and is now forgetting the whole thing about the democracy he fought for. But Nigerians were watching. Let us not sleep. Let us not hold back. Let us keep asking and seeking for the truth. Let us keep holding our leaders accountable for this country to move forward. Because what we have today is a situation where people don't want to be held accountable. People just feel that they can do whatever they want to do just because they're in government. Nobody wants to be held accountable. Nobody talks about Nigeria. It's about you as an individual, no longer about Nigeria. We must make sure that Nigeria is safe for every one of us to be safe. There's so much insecurity in the land. The honorable members who are busy with Bobrisky are not talking about insecurity in the land. Farmers have planted. This is the time for harvesting. Farmers are unable to go to their farms because bandits, hoodlums, terrorists are all over the place. And yet, these are issues that affect you and I. These are issues that affect the ordinary Nigerians. Hunger knows no bounds. But then, what would we say? Bobrisky, everybody is carried away with Bobrisky. This is the tactics of government to keep people, occupied when important issues should be discussed. Coming to our petroleum sector, what is really going on? Who are the true owners of NNPCL? What is the arrangement between NNPCL and Dangote Refinery? Why is Dangote all over the place, giving us all kinds of excuses? But yet, he has found it extremely difficult. He's behaving like a man that has taken an oath. He doesn't want to tell Nigerians how much he is selling petrol to NNPCL. Who does that? And then for federal government to now come out and say, we will not get involved. These are two private entities. They are limited liability companies. Let them go and sort their problems out. This is not what government should be saying. After all, when it comes to paying subsidy, who pays the subsidy? It is the government. Who does the government pay the subsidy to? We don't know. But yet, the same government that has vowed to protect the interests of Nigerians is saying today that they don't want to get involved. In other words, the issue of price control, which this government has been talking about all along, has been thrown to the dustbin. So Nigerians are on their own. They need to fight for their survival. Dangote, please come out clean. Tell Nigerians, the same Nigerians that stood by you when they said that your refinery was just 40% completed, when they said you have not been licensed to operate, when they said your products were not of high quality, the same Nigerians stood by you. The same Nigerians spoke on your behalf. But yet, it is now time for you to pay back Nigerians, and you're not doing that. And you believe that you're doing the right thing by hiding the price you're selling to NNPCL. Maybe you're even selling that at 500 naira to NNPCL. Of course, NNPCL is selling it at 889 naira. Some people are selling for 900. Some people are selling for 1,000. It appears that Dangote is happy with the level of poverty and level of hunger and level of suffering the ordinary Nigerians are going through. We're tired of this monopoly. Nigerians expect better, not only from government, but from individuals who run corporate businesses in this country. We expect a lot from people like him. Dangote should be able to come out and tell Nigerians. The other day, the MD or the chairman of BUA came out and said, middlemen stopped him from selling cement at a cheap price to Nigerians. Is that not laughable? For how long will, people, individuals who are running corporate organizations, conniving with government, continue to suffer the Nigerian people? Is it that the Nigerians have not suffered enough? Or is it that when everybody in Nigeria is dead, then we will now move forward? Mr. President, we heard you loud and clear. But I'll tell you this, Mr. President. We've been hearing your rhetorics of knowing that things are tough, knowing that we're going through a lot. We've heard you tell us to be patient. We've heard you tell us to endure. But are you enduring, Mr. President? You are not enduring at all. Don't forget the role you played 2012 when Jonathan removed subsidy. Don't forget the role you played. Don't forget the wonderful speech you gave during that period. How you said that it is those in power that are keeping Nigerians down. But today, Mr. President, you're doing just the opposite of what you said June 2012. You're saying the opposite. We expect to see the same man who took people, who gathered people at Ojota to fight the issue of fuel subsidy removal. You have removed it. You didn't put anything in place for Nigerians. Nothing to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. But you removed it. And yet, Nigerians, make una endure. And so the president talk. The same president that has just bought a new jet. Nigerians, make una dey patient. He bought a limousine. Nigerians, make una dey patient. He's been flying all over the world. In all the trips Mr. President has done, where are the investors? More, we just see the investors on a piece of paper. We hear it in the news, but we have not seen anything physical. Mr. President, I hear you want to put toll gates at the new Niger Bridge and Lagos-Ibadan Express. Wow. It is obvious that the only thing this presidency is delivering to Nigerians is the fact that you said you were going to widen the tax nets. And you're doing it. But in doing all of this, don't forget that human beings, those who look up to you as a father in this country, that they're going through a lot, that they're suffering, that there is hunger in the land. People can't pay their medical bills. A lot of children are out of school because a lot of parents cannot pay school fees. A lot of people are out there today because they cannot pay their medical bills. People have no roof over their heads because they cannot pay the new hike in rents. And a lot of families don't even have light because suddenly you have created a band-aid that you are moving everybody into. For how long will Nigerians continue to suffer this? For how long will you continue to hear the pains of Nigerians? For how long will you, as Mr. President, continue telling Nigerians to endure? I hope that you are enduring as well. I hope you're doing 010, just as Nigerians are doing. We are getting tired. And honestly, it looks as if there is no light at the end of the tunnel.